Hello, Nonprofit Connect members. As part of our Nonprofit Coffee Break series, we sit down with a different nonprofit leader each month to learn from their experiences and really highlight the nonprofit sector. Like so many of you, we are staying socially distanced and staying safe. So this month we're having a virtual cup of coffee. I'm so excited to chat with Bess Wallerstein Huff, the Director of Marketing and Community Outreach at the Kauffman Center for Performing Arts. Bess, welcome to Nonprofit Coffee Break.
Jackie, thank you so much. I am great and I'm happy to be here.
Let's get started. You have been with Kauffman Center since its grand opening in 2011. I think you were even with them a little bit before that. Tell me a little bit about who you are and what you do for the Kauffman Center.
Sure. Well, I'm the Director of Marketing and Community Outreach. And as you mentioned, I've been with the organization since prior to grand opening. So during that time, I have helped to shape our programming, our marketing, our institutional branding, PR, and just community outreach programs that we have, and develop partnerships with organizations. And it's been so fulfilling to be a part of an organization that literally changed the Kansas City skyline. And even though this year has been a little challenging, to say the least, it's still been really rewarding to see how we have all adapted to still connect with the organization to the community.
Yes, I would agree that the Kauffman Center is such a huge piece of the Kansas City community. I know I have been to many performances there, not only performances that you guys bring in, but you guys work with so many of our arts organizations to really make things like the ballet and the symphony have a platform. So it's no secret that the performing arts industry has been really impacted by the pandemic. In your role at the Kauffman Center, how has the pandemic impacted you and how have you responded?
It was definitely a jolt to the system. And I knew as I was heading into just the shutdown and the operations that went into and communications that went into that we needed some light, some guiding force for us moving forward. So for my team, we embraced three key words: flexibility, adaptability, and patience. And those three words were the lenses that we looked through everything that was coming at us at the time and that we knew was going to come in the future. And then we needed to set some new goals because all of the goals that we thought we had changed. So the three goals that we set were wanting to ensure that the brand still was visible to the community, that they knew that we were there and strong and standing with them. Two, that maybe we were reaching partners and working to do connectivity work and engage audiences far and wide that maybe we haven't talked to. Three was to ensure that we were engaged with all of the stakeholders and audience members and partners that we work with currently. So staying in communication with them and working with them as we navigate the next several months that has turned into a year.
So in addition to the internal goals that you set with your team, and I love those three words, what other initiatives did you guys focus on in 2020?
Well, community partnerships was a big piece. We wanted to work with other organizations that maybe we haven't been able to work with to deliver interesting and new content that's inspired by the Kauffman Center. So we worked with the Kansas City Zoo and had some of their animal friends come and visit us, and we did a video that was really well received. We also worked with Mesner Puppet Theater on a 4-part series that sort of shed light on some theater superstitions. So that was fun that we did around Halloween.
You have definitely, you and your team, been so creative in all of the different ways that you've still been connecting the arts to the community, even in a pandemic. I know you personally also kind of took on a new initiative in response to the pandemic and not being able to have traditional performing arts. Why don't you tell us about Show Delivered, what it is, and how it has really made its mark in 2020?
Thanks, Jackie. Yeah, I launched Show Delivered with my business partner, Kelly Main, in December of 2020. And this was a concept that kind of blossomed from being a part of all of these conversations with the performing arts, both local and national, just about where the industry is. And I recognized that there were so many barriers, that this pandemic really shut down live events, and that there's so much that we rely on to get live events off the ground. We need a venue and space and technology and seating. And I thought, well, there's probably a simpler way to do this, because storytelling is the oldest form of live arts, and that doesn't require anything. So we wanted to kind of remove some of the barriers, and then also think about meeting people where they were, which were at home, and saying, you are getting your groceries delivered, you're getting prescriptions delivered, you're getting everything off of Amazon delivered. Why not get a live performing arts experience delivered? So this is sort of a new business model and a new model for the performing arts, but we have seen such a great response. It has been really remarkable just to see how fast the company has just grown over time. And we now have a host of very diverse performing artists that work with us, from dance to music to clowning to everything in between. And so it's been really nice that we've delivered almost 40 shows now from mid-December to early April. So
I love that you went back to basics to figure out how to kind of keep storytelling going even in the middle of a pandemic. That's really cool. So moving back into your role at the Kauffman Center, how are the arts embracing the conversation about racial equity, especially in 2020?
Well, the Kauffman Center's overall mission is to deliver quality performing arts experiences to everyone. And, the center strives to do this work through our Kauffman Center Presents programming, our education and outreach initiatives, and year-round programs. And then, this last year, our work has really looked much different. And we still have tried to continue to create and share performing arts experiences and related content virtually, connecting audiences near and far to the Kauffman Center, which has been really exciting. But at the same time, we've been listening and learning and engaging in thoughtful conversations regarding racial equity and diversity and inclusion. It's an ongoing process, as you know. There's not one answer to this space. And with all the community that we serve and that interact with the Kauffman Center, we're really excited to just integrate further conversation and learning and opportunities into our work as we look to the future.
It makes so much sense, because listening is such an important part of storytelling, which is what you guys are already doing. So the arts, I feel, is such a natural fit for being kind of a leader in that racial equity conversation. So kudos. What gives you hope about the future of the arts industry, even after a year that was challenging, especially for performing arts centers like Kauffman?
Well, I think that we're still very much experiencing the pandemic. And what I'm excited about is that it has caused everyone to be resilient and to rethink almost everything that they do, especially for artists and performing arts organizations. So I'm excited to see how the arts adapt to this, and what becomes integrated and what doesn't. And I also am excited to have audiences laugh and hear applause again. I think these are sounds that just bring so much hope and joy to communities. But I think there's a lot of stories and a lot of work that's going to come from what we have collectively experienced during this time. And I think that's going to provide a lot of salve and healing for our communities. So I'm looking forward to what artistically we see moving forward, and just how organizations can integrate new technology, new collaborations, new opportunities to make their work even more impactful.
Yeah, last but not least, Bess, I know you are an opinionated person. And
Mm.
so I want to give you the chance to get on your soapbox.
Oh.
And what is your call to action for art lovers, nonprofit professionals, and supporters of our community?
Buy a ticket and see a performing arts event when it is safe to do so, when the arts organizations and artists are back working in the venues that you love. Please go and support them. It is so important to the fiber of our arts and culture scene in Kansas City, which is what makes living here so dynamic and fun, for our friends to come and support the work that we do in the community. So um, you can buy a ticket, you can be a donor, you can be a volunteer. There's all these ways to get involved. Please get involved. It's important that the performing arts sector is healthy and that it is vibrant and that it is a part of a growing economy that we have in Kansas City. So please, please, please go see a show and bring friends.
A very good call to action. Thank you, Bess. And thank you for taking time out of your day to chat with Nonprofit Connect and chat with me. I'm really inspired by the work that you're doing, not only for the Performing Arts Center, for Show Delivered, and just for the arts community in general in Kansas City. So thank you so much.
Well, Jackie, thank you. And thank you to everyone that helped make this a series with NP Connect. It's a great organization with amazing resources. And I value your time and everything that you've done during this pandemic to support the Kauffman Center and arts organizations and nonprofits.
Well, we love to do it. And thank you also to our members for tuning in. And we will see you next time. Cheers.